Do you remember celebrating Christmas in the 70s when the magic came from simpler joys and the toys under the tree felt like pure treasure? Back then, kids longed for bikes with bright streamers, board games that filled rainy afternoons, and dolls that became lifelong companions. These toys created memories that lasted a lifetime. Alright, before we dive in, let me know what toy made your Christmas wish list back then. At the top of many children's wish lists was one clear favourite. 1. Hot Wheels. This beloved toy turned Christmas morning into a racetrack. Those little die-cast cars, bright and shiny, were packed with excitement. Children tore into the boxes to find muscle cars, vans, and even futuristic designs, each one with wheels that spun fast and smooth. The real magic came with the orange track sets. Plastic strips that snapped together into loops, ramps, and long runs across the living room carpet. Kids spent hours designing wild courses, daring their cars to survive jumps and flips. Friends swapped cars in the playground, each trying to boast the biggest collection. By the late 70s, Hot Wheels had become a staple, the kind of present that made eyes light up the moment the wrapping paper came off. And while Hot Wheels brought speed, the next toy brought safe fun indoors. 2. Nerf Ball. Nerf Ball changed the way children played. Advertised as the world's first indoor ball, it was made of soft foam, so kids could throw, kick, and even wrestle with it without breaking windows, lamps, or vases. Suddenly, rainy days or cold winter afternoons didn't matter anymore. Bedrooms turned into football pitches, hallways into basketball courts. Parents loved it because the chaos was safe, and kids loved it because it felt like they could play anywhere, anytime. The bright ball bounced across living rooms and laughter followed it. Nerf wasn't just another toy, it was freedom inside four walls, giving kids a new way to keep moving when the weather outside was too rough. Nerf kept kids active, but our next gift tested minds. 3. Mastermind. A puzzle game that made children feel clever. With a small wooden board, rows of holes, and coloured pegs. It looked simple at first, but it quickly became a test of logic. One player set a secret code, the other tried to crack it, and each guess brought a mix of tension and excitement. Families would sit together after Christmas lunch, one side hiding their smile while the other strained to figure it out. The fun was in the battle of wits. Even adults were hooked, proving it wasn't only for kids. The mysterious box cover with a man and woman staring out gave it a serious, almost glamorous feel. Mastermind showed that games didn't need flashing lights or noise to capture attention. Sometimes strategy was enough. Next up came a card game that sparked friendly rivalry. 4. Uno. It wasn't just a card game, it was a Christmas tradition in many homes. Its bright, bold deck was easy to learn but hard to put down. The rules were simple: match colours or numbers, try to empty your hand, and don't forget to shout "Uno" at the right moment. The real fun came from the special cards Skip, Reverse, and the dreaded Draw 4 that left siblings grumbling while others laughed. Families could play for hours, one round blending into the next, the cards piling higher as the game went on. It was the perfect size to slip into a stocking and could travel anywhere, from school bags to holiday trips. Our next toy was a doll that made playtime feel surprisingly real. 5. Baby Alive. Baby Alive was more than just a doll. She could be fed with tiny packets of powdered food, sipped from her bottle, and then, to children's delight, she wet her nappies just like a real baby. It brought a new level of realism to playtime. Kids loved the sense of responsibility, pretending to be parents as they carried her everywhere, fed her carefully and cleaned up afterward. For many, it was the first time play felt close to real life. Accessories like bibs, nappies, and little spoons made the doll even more appealing, and she quickly became one of the most wanted toys of the decade. This next toy opened the door to fantasy worlds like nothing else. 6. Dungeons and Dragons. This was unlike any toy before it. Instead of plastic pieces or flashing lights, it gave children a rulebook, dice, and the chance to step into a world of imagination. With a roll of the dice, ordinary living rooms turned into castles, dungeons, and dangerous caves. Children became heroes, adventurers, and wizards, working together to defeat monsters and discover treasure. The stories could go on for hours, sometimes even days, and every game felt different from the last. For many, it was their first taste of storytelling and creativity without limits. Next up, this one was all about quick sketches and fun. 7. Magna Doodle. Magna Doodle made art easy and fun. It was a simple board with a magnetic surface and a special stylus, but to a child it felt like magic. With one stroke, shapes and pictures appeared as if by hand, and with one quick slide of the eraser bar, the whole board was clean again. It was neater and easier than crayons or markers, and it encouraged children to keep drawing over and over. From doodling houses to practicing letters, Magna Doodle gave endless chances to be creative without the mess. But our next pick turned Christmas into a galactic adventure. 8. Star Wars action figures. When Star Wars hit cinemas in 1977, it created a craze like nothing before it. Suddenly, children everywhere wanted to bring Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Darth Vader into their homes. The action figures were small but detailed, and they quickly became the must-have Christmas gift. Shops sold out so fast that many children received empty boxes and certificates promising they would get the figures later. When they finally arrived, the toys inspired endless battles and space adventures across carpets and back gardens. Kids collected vehicles, lightsabers, and playsets, building whole galaxies of their own. Now let's get our next noisy game that made everyone laugh. 9. Hungry Hungry Hippos. Pure chaos in a box. Hungry Hungry Hippos involved 4 bright hippos sitting around the board. The goal was simple: eat as many marbles as possible. The sound of kids hammering the levers filled homes with clattering noise and laughter as each player tried to make their hippo the greediest. It was fast, frantic, and over in minutes, which only meant it had to be played again. The game was easy enough for even the youngest children to join in, which made it perfect for Christmas gatherings where everyone wanted a turn. Up next was a gift that charmed children with its sweetness and smell. 10. Strawberry Shortcake. It started as a character on greeting cards before becoming one of the most loved dolls of the late 70s. With her red hair, bonnet, and sweet strawberry scent, she stood out from all the other dolls on the shelf. She came with friends like Blueberry Muffin and Lemon Meringue, each with their own look and smell. Children adored collecting the dolls and playing out stories with them, filling bedrooms with the fragrance of desserts and fruit. The dolls were bright, cheerful, and felt comforting, which made them an instant hit at Christmas. But our next gift was built for daring stunts and excitement. 11. Evel Knievel Stunt Cycle. The Evel Knievel stunt cycle brought the thrill of the world's most famous daredevil straight into the home. The toy came with a wind-up launcher and a plastic figure dressed like the real stuntman, ready to leap across ramps, tables, and anything else children could build. With a quick crank, the cycle shot forward, racing across the floor and sometimes crashing in spectacular style. Kids loved the chance to recreate Evel's daring jumps without the danger, cheering when the cycle landed safely and laughing when it tumbled. Next up was a doll that cried real tears. 12 Tiny Tears. This was one of the first dolls that felt more like a real baby than a toy. She could drink from a bottle, blow bubbles, and cry little tears, making children feel like they were truly looking after a baby of their own. Some versions even wet their nappies, adding another layer of realism to playtime. Children tucked her into prams, dressed her in tiny outfits, and treated her with care. She wasn't just a doll to sit on a shelf. She became part of daily routines and pretend family life. This next toy let little girls live out their dreams of fashion and glamour. 13 Barbie, Sindy, and Action Girl. These gave children endless ways to imagine glamorous lives. These fashion dolls weren't just about playing house, they were about stepping into exciting roles and showing off style. Outfits ranged from everyday clothes to ball gowns, and children swapped and mixed pieces to create their own looks. The dolls often came with accessories like cars, houses, or furniture, making the play even bigger. Sindy became especially popular in Britain, while Barbie remained the global icon, and Action Girl offered an adventurous edge. Yet while fashion dolls ruled the shelves, the next figure was built for action. 14 Action Man. Action Man was the ultimate toy for children who wanted excitement. With movable joints, detailed uniforms, and gear for every mission, he was more than just a figure. He was a soldier, explorer, or pilot, depending on the day. Christmas mornings were filled with the rustle of new outfits, vehicles, and weapons being unwrapped, each one adding more to the adventures. Children built whole armies or set up daring rescues, letting Action Man dive into battles or expeditions. His rugged look and endless accessories kept him fresh year after year, making him one of the longest-lasting hits of the decade. Our next big gift took kids to the open road. 15. Rally Chopper. Bike. This chopper was more than a bike. It was a symbol of childhood freedom. With its long padded seat, high-rise handlebars, and unique gear lever in the middle, it looked cooler than any other bike on the street. On Christmas morning, finding one under the tree meant pure joy, and by afternoon, the streets were filled with children riding proudly. The chopper wasn't just for getting around, it was for showing off tricks, riding with friends, and feeling grown up. Its bold style and bright colors made it unforgettable, and it quickly became the most wanted bike of the 70s. But then came another gift that encouraged kids to build entire worlds, piece by piece. 16. Lego. Lego was the toy that made builders out of everyone. Bright plastic bricks clicked together into houses, cars, towers, and towns, limited only by imagination. Christmas mornings meant new sets spilling across the floor, pieces quickly turning into fire stations or castles. Some kids followed the instructions carefully, while others mixed and matched, creating wild inventions of their own. The joy of Lego was that it never grew old. You could rebuild it again and again. The addition of wheels and playsets in the 70s only made it more exciting, letting children create little cities full of life. It wasn't just play, it was creativity at its purest. And while Lego made builders happy, the next gift brought art to life in a new way. 17. Etch a Sketch. It felt like magic in a frame. With two knobs, one for vertical lines and one for horizontal, kids could draw pictures that appeared in silvery lines across the screen. It was tricky at first, but with patience came houses, names, shapes, and even portraits. Mistakes didn't matter because one good shake cleared the whole screen, ready to start again. Christmas stockings often held this toy, and children spent hours twisting knobs to make new creations. The click and scratch of the lines forming on the screen became familiar in many homes. But this next toy gave kids real nuts and bolts to work with. 18. Meccano. Meccano gave children the chance to build like real engineers. With small metal strips, nuts, bolts, and wheels, kids could put together cars, cranes, robots, and machines. The fun was in both the building and the finished creation, which often worked with moving parts. Christmas mornings were filled with the clink of pieces being sorted, screwdrivers turning, and proud faces showing off new models. In the 70s, Meccano sets even added electronic parts, making the builds more exciting than ever. Children felt grown up using real tools and parts, creating something solid that lasted. Next up came a toy that was soft, colourful, and full of charm. 19. Care Bears. These bears brought warmth and cheer into children's lives. Each brightly coloured bear had a unique tummy symbol and a special personality, from Cheer Bear with her rainbow to Grumpy Bear with his storm cloud. Unwrapping one at Christmas meant more than just getting a toy. It meant finding a cuddly friend with a message of kindness. Kids collected them, traded stories, and acted out adventures where the bears worked together to spread love and stop trouble. They were soft, huggable, and instantly comforting, which made them a hit long after the holiday season. And while Care Bears were about cuddles, the next one was a world of its own. 20. My Little Pony. My Little Pony turned bedrooms into magical stables. Each pony had a colourful mane, big eyes, and a unique symbol on its side, sparking endless adventures. Kids brushed their silky hair, lined them up for races, and acted out whole stories with stables and accessories. They weren't just toys, they were part of imaginative play that lasted for hours. Christmas mornings were brighter, with ponies tucked under the tree, ready to be named, styled, and loved. Children often collected them in groups, each new edition bringing more excitement to the herd. Their gentle look and pastel colours made them easy to love, and they quickly became one of the most popular toy lines in the world. Then came a doll that took the world by storm, sparking a craze like no other. 21st Cabbage Patch Kids. These were the dolls every child wanted. With their round faces, yarn hair, and unique look, no two were quite the same, making each one feel special. The dolls even came with adoption papers, so children felt like they were bringing home a real baby of their own. At Christmas, parents lined up for hours and sometimes fought in stores just to get one, as demand far outstripped supply. Kids adored naming them, dressing them, and carrying them everywhere. They weren't just dolls, they were companions with their own identity, and that made them unforgettable. Our next pick transformed into something much more than meets the eye. 22. Transformers. Transformers amazed children with their clever design. One moment they were trucks, cars, or planes, and with a few quick twists they turned into towering robots. This mix of vehicles and action figures made them unlike anything else at the time. Kids acted out battles between Autobots and Decepticons, reenacting the stories from the cartoon or making up adventures of their own. Christmas mornings meant unfolding a brand new figure and practicing the transformations until it felt second nature. The toys combined imagination with engineering, giving children a sense of wonder every time a car became a hero. But this next toy offered something gentler and more homely. 23. Sylvanian families. These tiny animal figures, dressed in little clothes, came with houses, furniture, and shops that let kids build whole communities. The families, rabbits, bears, squirrels, and more, each had their own personalities, making play feel personal and cozy. Children decorated homes, set tables for dinners, and created endless stories of everyday life. The joy was in the detail: tiny teacups, beds, and even lamps that made the world feel real despite its size. For Christmas mornings, unwrapping a new house or family felt like adding a new chapter to a growing story. Our next toy was a phenomenon that lasted for decades. 24. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles took the world by storm when they came out. Based on the hit cartoon, the action figures brought Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael to life in bedrooms everywhere. Kids staged battles against villains like Shredder, building whole adventures with their favorite turtle heroes. The toys often came with weapons, vehicles, and play sets, making the fun even bigger. Christmas stockings filled with figures meant hours of imaginative play, with the turtles leaping into action on living room floors. They combined humor, action, and style, which made them one of the most popular toy lines of their time. Children proudly collected the full team, trading with friends until every turtle was complete. This next toy spoke in a way no one had seen before. 25. Speak and Spell. This was a toy that felt ahead of its time. Instead of cards or dolls, it used a tiny voice to teach children how to spell words. With its bright orange body and chunky keyboard, it stood out under the Christmas tree. Kids typed in letters, pressed buttons, and listened as the electronic voice guided them along. It made learning fun, mixing play with education in a way few toys had managed before. Many children carried it everywhere, proud to show off what they could do. Speak and Spell proved that toys could be both fun and clever, leaving a lasting mark on childhood memories. Which of these Christmas toys were you most fond of? Let us know in the comments below. If you learned something new today, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.